Hey, welcome to the Bookmap Live Order Flow Advanced Analysis webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. A risk disclaimer: trading equities and futures involves substantial risk of loss. It's not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let's take a look here. Jump right in and look at some of the higher time frames here. Crude is breaking out to the upside. We can see it's above the 58 figure here that we've been watching for the last few days. So a pretty strong breakout to the upside. Previous webinar I covered in the Bookmap platform details the NASDAQ. There's something in the NASDAQ I want to show just because some of you have been asking about data feeds. So let's take a look here. And yeah, you know, I'm still really curious to see if we might get a breakout here. So far, I mean, we're still hanging out up here above, but you know, in the higher areas. But we're starting to see some sell pressure. But this is what I want to show here. Just love seeing this kind of stuff. And we'll just zoom out here in Bookmap, and this is. You can see I started my Bookmap session around 8:45 maybe or so, somewhere around there. And immediately I start collecting data, and I'm using Rhythmic, so I have full depth of market with CME products. Okay, so all of these levels are live. Okay, it's not just 10. If you're using something that a data feed that only has 10 deep on the offer and 10 on the bid, then you're not going to see this information way up here and up here as well. But these larger players have been here all day long, okay? And they want to be sellers up here, okay? And we can see them. Look how we came, you know, this is a pretty wicked move. We're right off in the beginning here. There's a lot of things going on here that I want to show. You know, I'm not sure if there was some sort of news. Maybe you guys know, but this is what I'm assuming it is news. Okay, this has all of the, and why do I know that, or why do I think that? Well, look at the evidence here. Okay, first off, this is really wicked sell-off. Right, very, very quick, sharp move, and this is before the 9:30 cash open. So there's not a lot of volume yet, right? But first off, this kind of move, and also look how it got dark here. Okay, look at this. They started pulling liquidity. Okay, we can see it, right? They're pulling liquidity in these areas. Even up here, they started to thin out a little bit. Okay, and they jumped right back in. So something happened here at 9:28, and I'm not sure what the news was, but we can see the reaction. Okay. So you're going to see this when there's a timed event, economic event, like at you know, if it's going to be 8:30, you know, employment data, or you know, something else, CPI or retail sales. It's going to be the same thing. They're not going to. A lot of traders are going to pull their liquidity. That's pretty close to current price, and you're going to see it go dark in those areas. It's just how the market works. People don't want that risk because they don't know what the result is yet. They start to come back in after they've digested that news information, and we can start to see that happen here in these areas here. Okay, all right. So that's number one. Well, and number two are these higher areas here of liquidity. Being able to see the depth of market, complete depth of market. Okay, and we know, I mean, it's just, you know, what happens. I mean, the market goes to these areas of liquidity. It goes right up to this area here, it sells right off again. We see that buyers start to step into some of these lower levels, though, and we come back up and rotate right into, again, this area here at 63, 55, or 56. Okay, that's where they want to be sellers up here. Right, nice little cup and handle, you know, pattern here, and I like going through these patterns and describing to you what's really going on, because we're all kind of familiar with the patterns, but what really is occurring here has to deal with the order flow, volume, and liquidity. Right? And why we stopped here was because of the liquidity. Okay? And we rotate lower back down to this little structural area here. Beautiful little retest of that area. Okay, this is we start to anticipate buyers to start to step into these areas here to support this where it previously broke out from. Okay? And we actually see a little volatility back and forth a few times, and then this is why this cup and handle pattern works, is because we have more buyers up at these higher levels. Okay, if I zoom in, okay, well, first off, we can see it clearly here, the big volume dots up here, right, of buyers. Okay, but in the profile, how does that look? Well, let's go back a little bit. Okay, and here's our profile here, okay, in CVP. Okay, and so what we're looking at here, this is the chart range volume profile, and we're seeing a buildup, okay, of volume at the higher areas here, and this is basically it leads to more buying pressure, more price discovery to the upside, and then finally the breakout, right? So that's why you get this kind of double top. You get a little bit of a pullback, and this is the handle and that cup and handle. You can see that we came right down to this cluster of volume here, and then buyers stepped in again, and then they broke out of this area here, okay, where that high liquidity had been waiting all day long, okay, before the market even, the cash session even opened. Where does it go to though? Okay, again, targeting high liquidity up here at 63.70. Okay, that's where they are. We come right up to it. Okay? And we can see their behavior up in this area too. Look at the cluster of activity, and reading this behavior up here. Look how they got pretty aggressive. They started lowering our offer in this area here. They really wanted to be sellers here. Okay, that led to a pretty strong pullback. All right, interesting stuff again at this price level. Look how they jumped in on the other side now here as well, providing high liquidity where they previously were on the offer, they're on the bid. Okay, this is a bigger example, longer term example of a flip of the order book. Okay, they were on the offer, now they're on the bid, and we see the move to the upside. Okay, now that actually in the end this failed. As we came back down, they jumped back in here a little bit, but it looks to me like we can see them pulling here in this area, and then they're down maybe at some of these lower levels, down to this swing here, and then that's where we finally bounce. Okay, it was down at that swing. Anyway, much higher time frame stuff here, but what I'm trying to demo here is the insight that we can get from the historical view of the order book. Right, targeting these areas, flip of the book, also that news event around 9/28, something going on there, right? And now here we are, right back down, and this is looking pretty good for. Let's see if we can come down into. Okay, well, let's see where are we going to go. Let's take a look. Okay, this little swing here I'm interested in, and let's look at our volume profile as well over here. Yeah, it's kind of the edge here of the majority of this trading, so we'll probably find some people start to cover and maybe some interest in buying side, and here they are already. We can already see them here at 35. Okay, they actually just pulled. Wow, this is a pretty strong move. Yeah, no, I'm starting to look for some covering here, and I'm looking for maybe a move back up to this swing here. Let's zoom in a little bit more and take a look here. Okay. All right, so here come the buyers. Okay, this is what we started to anticipate, right, down at this level. And then here's our 47.5, 48 level here. We just came about a point shy of that, a point and a half shy of that. But that's where that swing is. But why we zoomed in here was to find the bigger clusters of volume and then start to anticipate another move to the downside at those clusters. And here's our cluster, and here's this swing as well right here. And that's where we came to, and that's where we sold off again from. Okay, a lot of volume right now. All right, so a lot going on at the moment. And let's zoom in and read this. Okay, so the easy move, we've already seen this one happen, that bounce. Now we're looking for, now it's a little bit range bound here, so it's going to get a little more complex, and we want to understand what's going on currently. Right, who's winning the battle here? It's both sides at the moment, but still the slant is, the trend direction is to the downside. Okay, here we go. There's a move down again. I'm looking for another quick pullback right up to this area here, maybe 34. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, let's zoom out here. We need to get a bigger picture perspective. Les, I see your questions here. All right, so we're coming down to 24 instead. Okay, this is strong. These are really strong moves. Okay, so let's see if we're going to get a pullback, but we just hit this. Okay, this is where they were earlier, right? So we just hit that. Now I'm starting to anticipate the pullback. We've come down below the swing. This is the low of the day here. Let's see them cover, and we should get a pretty strong pullback at this point. Okay, we might get one more push to the downside, get everyone short here, but looking for that pullback and looking for areas where it might go. Let's see. I'm trying to move here really quickly. Yeah, I mean, we could pull back here. I'm still looking for this area here, and then also I see some nice cluster of volume here as well. Okay, so and let me edit this again. Okay, somewhere, this is where the swing was, so that's why I'm interested here. Wow, it is just really selling off here. Okay, no pullback whatsoever. Wow. Okay, we're coming down to the figure then, right? We're at 63.05. Oh, this is Flynn news. Okay. Well, I saw that earlier, but I thought that was rather digested at this point. I guess not. Okay, so we're at the figure now, and we're going to start to see a little bit of a bounce here. This is a really strong move. Let's take a look at the higher time frame here. Okay, all right, makes sense. I can see it. We're gonna see the pullback. Pretty strong pullback though, I imagine here. Yeah, here they come. Okay, now let's zoom in here and let's take a look at some of our areas of interest. Okay, so nice V bottom here, and let's see if we can come back up into some of these clusters. This is our first little cluster that we kind of outlined, and then and maybe this one up here. Okay, we see a little bit of a right to it, basically at 25. But I'm still looking for a little bit higher here. Okay, and let's see if we can get up into this area here, because this is the big cluster here that we can see. Okay, so I'm looking to see if we accept or reject below this 34 area, right? That's what we outlined earlier. So Paul, is this new news on Flynn? Is that what it is? That's just coming out right now? I don't have any news aggregator up here at the moment. Les, let me get to your questions here. You had 3 emails. Oh, he's preparing to. Wow. So this is definitely, sell the rumor, buy the news type of thing. Okay. All right, Les. I'll reach out to support and get you some help. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, another good point, Robert. Looking at your that's a good point. So the other line that is the previous low from yesterday. So that's right here, right where we've kind of come to, and we're seeing if we're going to accept or reject below that low. Okay, so that's a really good point there. Okay, and so far we are accepting below it. Okay, so let's see if we can get right now, see more aggressive selling right now. Okay, and then come back down into maybe the figure here. Okay, here they come, right? That's what we're looking for right in here, more aggressive selling. Okay, looking for the figure as the target. Okay, 6,300. Okay, here's our pullback right to this little area right here. And I'm looking for those sellers to reload again, okay, or the buyers to exhaust right here. This is our pullback to where we just broke from, okay. All right, we're going up higher. It's volatile, so let's put in some other information here. Okay, so we're in a boy, this is just it's choking up my computer as well. All right, so we're in this kind of channel here to the downside, as you can see. Okay, so I'm again, like, I'm looking for. I mean, this is the value of this product at the moment, so I'm looking for it to be in this channel here somewhere. Okay, so the outside edges here, we're looking for exhaustion on the buy side. We can see it up here. Okay, now we're trying to break out of this area. Boy, this is just moving so quickly. All right. I mean, you can see that they bid it up in this area here. This is what stopped our movement to the downside. Okay, so now this trend channel is broken, and we're going sideways here. Okay, so let's just get rid of these guys. And now this is the story. Okay, so it's a reevaluation of it. So we're looking for buyers. So we're coming right down to it right now. Let's see if those buyers step in here. Okay, yep, they do. Okay. Okay, let's see if we come up to 15 here. Let's see if sellers come back in. And they do. And let's see if we can break this now. Okay, and see big selling dots right here at 09. Let's see it. No. More buyers here on the bid. Right? Another rotation though. Okay, now let's see it now. Let's see if they can just hit the bid really hard right here. Okay, and I'm looking for 6,300. Okay, see, notice them starting to pull, right? Okay, I'm sorry guys, like I don't know, I've got a lot of markets open. Let's maybe we'll start closing them down here. Um, oops. Let's go back to NQ. Okay. All right, I think this ought to help a little bit. So I have a lot of data coming into my Bookmap here. Let me close the Russell. Okay. All right. Well, we just knocked some stops out here. We're free now to come down to 6,300. Okay. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, they're bidding it up here in this area here above 6,300, but now they're just pulling here. I mean, this is just happening really quickly, guys. It's hard to kind of comment on this as it's changing so quickly, right? But I'm still looking for 6,300, right? And actually, I'm looking for a breakdown below that. I want to see right here. Let's see if they can really push it now, okay, and get the breakdown below 6,300. Okay. Initial bounce here, okay, and then let's see it now. Okay, get everyone trapped here, going wrongs. Yeah, there we go. All right, there's our move. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's see if maybe we'll get a pullback to it. Okay, here we are back at 6,300, and there's our exhaustion on the buy side and continuation to the downside. Okay, buyer stepping in, but okay, here we go. More to the downside. Okay, so a new line, 6,300. And yeah, look at them on the other side now at 91 there, really following it down to this high liquidity. All right, well, so some nice moves here, let's put some structure onto this though. I mean, now we're right back up to 6,300. Okay, so where are we going with this? Well, let's understand the bigger picture. Okay, because these moves are happening really quickly, so it's giving us bigger picture structure. Okay, trend line is real nice here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 points. Okay, and we had a horizontal line here previously, so this is going to be a nice little technical area to see if we find, and this is going to be, well, we have a low volume node here as well at 0.5, right? So this would be, we want to read what's going on if we get up here. Okay. As it is so far, though, we have not even come above 6,300. Not for well, for like a point or so. maybe, but nothing significant. So it looks like it's accepting below for the moment. All right. Another thing, this is so, we're starting to go a little sideways here. Want to be aware of some of these other structural areas too, to really understand what's going on. So let's draw in this trend line here, more aggressive trend line, and we may break this, come back up, but go into the bigger trend to the downside here. That's a scenario that could happen here. And so let's be aware of that. As you can see, it's holding this more aggressive trend line, so maybe we'll just get aggressive sellers right now, and we'll come to new lows. Now, we see them bid up here at 90, so they're showing their interest here. Okay, we just went through that. Okay. All right, looks like we're just going lower. Okay, so again, same type of thing going through the cup and handle, and this is more aggressive trend line. And why this is working here? Well, the markets are really weak right now. Okay, but we want to be aware. I mean, the bigger trend, or why I'm covering trend and why I'm making these structural areas here, is the same as the microstructure that we go through, right? So we want to understand the valuation of this instrument, okay? And we're understanding it where it exhausts out at specific areas in a valuation channel, or looking at where the traders are committing themselves in these areas. And you can see that this is why, like, this aggressive trend line is holding here, because the markets are so weak. It has been reevaluated in a more aggressive trend to the downside. Right. A lot of times, though, if you'll see this more aggressive trend line fail and then come back up into this area here, when the markets are a bit stronger. So these can be really trappy little areas too. But in this case, it looks pretty clear what's going on, right? Okay, we're off like 100 points. And still seeing continuation to the downside. Down at 62.70. Okay, and the area where we saw them line up earlier was at 63.70. Okay. Okay, so no reason yet. I mean, valuation is still lower. So, and this trend line or this valuation channel is holding as well. Now, let's zoom in a little bit more and get a feel for where they might start to reevaluate that. Okay, and that would be here. Okay, so let's see if we see buyers start to step in right around where we are right now. Okay, and come up and test the this trend line here. Okay, this might be a little oversold now. Okay, so now, okay, we've just touched that line, and let's see if we can come back up now. And looking for maybe up to here, back up to like 71 maybe, right? Okay, then let's zoom in here, and we'll see it. Okay, a little bit lower. Okay, and then outside of value. Now we've broken that line. We're outside of value, so maybe that's what we need to see is outside of value, and then we'll see the a lot of covering maybe, and then come back up into some of these areas here. I mean, it's possible. I mean, that scenario is not playing out whatsoever. It's possible too that we just have another aggressive trend line to draw in, and maybe that's what we need to do here. Something like that. Wow. Okay, here they come. All right. So 6250 was that kind of key number, this even number, and the liquidity was there, right? So that's what we needed to see, I guess, was targeting the higher liquidity here, the 6200. And now let's see. Now we've broken the aggressive trend lines, right? And now we're coming back up. Okay. So let's see what it looks like up here though at 65. We see them coming in already, right? Okay, here we go. We're at 65 now. Okay, so if we're up at this valuation point here, do traders? This is just volatility all over the place. We're just coming up to areas of high liquidity, basically. That's it. Okay, there we are at 80. Okay. Anyway, we do see the pause here. Okay, and we see a little bit of sideways action here, but buyers we're seeing the short covering here now. Right. So this valuation trend we're back up to the higher one now. Okay. So this was the one we originally drew in. This was our more aggressive one, and then here was our even more aggressive one here. Right. So you can see where we came to, right? Okay, nice short squeeze. Okay, well, since we see this volatility here, I'm looking at no doubt I'm looking at this trend line, but also have 6,300 the figure. So this kind of zone, a 10-point zone, to see what the reaction might be up here. Okay, so we did finally get what we were looking for. It just we had to draw a few more aggressive lines in first, have them break, and this is what I was trying to cover earlier. It just didn't. It happened. This happened much later. Watch for those areas. I guess we can piece that together as well as looking at high liquidity and this half figure down here as the main targets. Okay. So that is even higher confluence. We're outside of value. We're at the half figure, and then we start to look for the liquidity, and then maybe this turnaround in this breakout. Okay, I was looking for it a little bit higher, a little bit higher. Okay, so here we are again. Okay, trading through it, right? Okay, and looking at 6,300, the figure, so it's this zone I'm interested in here. Okay, high liquidity is at 95. Okay, and let's see if we get more sellers here. It's possible we may even, this might even be like a flag type of pattern. This is leg one. Here's our kind of pullback. Leg two, maybe back up into these areas here. That's possible. Because this is a really strong move. Yeah, it's possible. We could be looking at maybe even this low volume node up in this area here, right? Okay, and that's the VWAP for the session as well up here. Okay, the battle that's going on here is at 6,300 the figure. Okay, let's read the book here a bit. I mean, they're not staying in the book. You can see they stayed in the book here a little bit. But a lot of them are pulling. Okay, a lot of support underneath here. That's pretty interesting to see. Okay, this is another flip. They were on the offer. They're on the bid here. No insight at the moment. I see volume on both sides of the figure. A little more buying, perhaps. So we might get that push to the upside here. Let's see. All right, here we go. This looks good. Let's see it. Let's see the move to the upside. Maybe we'll get that second leg out of this this move here, this short squeeze to the upside. Okay. Again, very similar to that cup and handle pattern that we just went through. Okay, and why this starts to work. Originally, I was saying that I see a little more buying in here. It wasn't so clear because we see dots kind of all over the place. But then we saw this. I saw this little cluster right here, and then I saw this bigger dot here. I'm looking for the squeeze to continue to the upside, right? That same pattern, that kind of cup and handle pattern, and why this works though. It's not. I really like using the model for that, like cup and handle patterns and these trend channels, etc., just to give structure and understanding to the order flow that we're looking at. Okay, and why those things work is because we have the aggressor up here, the aggressive buying up here. Okay, it was right in this little area where right before the breakout occurred that we had the insight. Okay. And right now, now we see sellers in this little area here. Right? I'm not seeing the buyers. Okay, so we might start to see a reversal pattern start to emerge here, and then we get the continuation to the downside. Okay, that's possible. We'll take a look here. See, but see this little cluster? This is why I'm saying that here, this cluster right here. Okay, and then here's our retest back up, pretty dismal here. Okay, but now buyers are stepping in again here. Okay, the cluster of buying here, and now we're above a little swing here. So there's at this point, yeah, it's. I think maybe sideways is the call. I don't see someone winning the battle here. Okay, nice cluster of buying now. Okay, that's starting to change here. All right, so let's see. Okay, let's see if we get buyers right now, right here. And there they are. Okay, let's see if we need more than that. That's not enough. All right, so we're going to exhaust out. Okay, rotate lower. We're going to come down to maybe this 02, maybe the figure. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and let's see if the sellers come back in now. Here they come. Beautiful. Okay, where are we going to go to? Let's look at maybe right down here at this little area, and then maybe a pullback. Okay, beautiful. And let's see. Okay, all right, here's a rejection. I'm looking for now. If we get more buying here, I'm looking for this high to be breached here. Okay, if we get right here, more buyers start to step in. It's that fight for that point of control. Same thing, right? And with the aggressor here, and maybe first stop would be this 63.10. But then I'd really like to see this area up here at 12.50, and see a test above that. No. All right, we're going to go lower. All right. It's just getting choked up here with the data coming in. All right. I mean, to me, this looks like a reversal pattern starting to take hold here. I'm looking for lower lows now. Okay. Let's break down below 6,300 and maybe down to this area right here at 92. Somewhere around 92. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this has got to be about the tax reform. Flynn is. I mean, I don't think that's going to move the markets like this. All right. Well, we went down below 92 and then found some buyers right back up to the figure, 9,300, and now we're back to that acceptance down below 6,300. Right. Okay, so that was good. We saw this reversal pattern start to emerge here, started to read it, start to understand. This was a little bit of threw me a little bit for a loop here. I mean, it was possible here that we could come up to the other side here, but this fight for the point of control in this area, the sellers won. Down here, we started to get that insight. So then we're looking for lower, right? Well, we know that the battle is being won by the sellers here. See a nice little retest here, kind of exhausted up here again, and then we see more selling take place, and that's the story right now. Okay. And here we go. So it looks like not only are we going to get we're going to get continuation here to a trending to the downside right now. Okay, this is the little area here. This would be the this is when we're looking for that continuation to the upside. It's this little double bottom right in this area here. That would then we want to see if the buyers jump back in, and they did not. Right. So I'm looking for now trending to the downside. Okay, and we're seeing it in the order flow. Okay, we can start to place our evaluation channels here as well. Okay, so any of these areas comes back up to, we're looking for the order flow to give us clues to it being overvalued up in these areas, and look for it to return back to the mean, and then also to the other side of valuation down here. Any questions? I'm going through this really quickly. I know we're getting some latency as well, so apologize for that. It makes it tough. And we're zoomed out here too. I mean, these are big moves. We just saw a 100-point drop in the NASDAQ. Okay. All right, so now we're up at this trend line here. And let's see if we're looking for responsive sellers. Okay, hit the bid, but let's look at the book. I mean, they're bidding up here at 85. Okay, and let's see, now we're gonna test those guys and see if they pull. I'm looking for a continuation to the downside based on what we saw in the reversal and then this continuation here. Right, so this, I'm looking for another move, another leg to the downside here. Okay, here we go. Looking good, beautiful. Okay. There it is. All right, so now let's see if they start to cover down in this area here. Okay, we're down below the swing as well. That looks pretty good. All right, a little bit further, a little bit further. All right, and then buyers, let's see if they can, well, it's 6270 is what we're looking at. This is where they're lined up here in the book. Okay. All right, a little bit below that. Let's see if we can get the buyers to step in here. Okay, right in this area here. Okay, and where are we going to bounce up to? See if we can get up to 80. Wow, even more aggressive. We might have to draw a more aggressive channel here. Okay, here's our move. Okay, let's see. Let's get up to 80. All right, beautiful. Let's see if the sellers, responsive sellers, come in here. Nope, not yet. Okay, here we should see them. One more rotation. Okay, now buyers are stepping in. All right, it's doing this other. So they're not showing up here. We saw the little bobble here in the retest. We're coming back up to 93 area instead. Okay, it's tricky, right? We draw on the more aggressive line, and we when we get these big moves to the downside, uh, look for the retest back up into these areas, and then look for the move to the other side of the bigger trend that's going here. Okay, and that's what. So yeah, I'm looking at this looks good too. I like it around this 92 level here. There's high liquidity. There were previously high liquidity up here as well, and we have our trend here. I'm curious. I don't see a lot of liquidity up here at the figure. You know, sellers want to get. Well, now they're starting to show up. Boy, it is volatile. Just jumpy. And this is kind of a repeat, actually, of what we saw earlier. Then it's this kind of zone up here. We have the figure, but we do have our valuation here, and we went through it, but we went up into this kind of zone here, and that's where we're finding the sellers here. Okay, they're going to hit the bid again. Okay, let's see it. Yeah, here they come. Wow, that came out of the blue right there. That move. Okay, all right, back up. That was hard to judge. I mean, we had no idea there. I guess the one thing we can look at is we can see the cluster of activity over here previously, right? But that just came out of the blue. These buyers here. Okay, looking for them to continue here to hit the bid at this area here. And they did initially, but then out of the blue, these buyers stepped in. Okay, it is curious. I mean, where did it go? It went above the figure, but it rejected. So it did not. It's clearing stops out above here, and then they're coming back in, right? So yeah, really trappy in these areas. We're looking for the figure here. We went through it, and then we failed. The auction failed above the figure, and it's right down below. Okay, let's see the sellers jump in here, and then we'll get that nice. Let's see if we can get a nice move here to the downside again. Okay, right. No. A little lower, right there. Let's see. No, buyers stepped in. Okay, it's jumpy. I mean, look at the bid is getting it, pretty deep here. Okay, they're on the sell. They're on the offer though up here. But look, they're lined up here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's what's gonna happen. So then let's see come up and go into 93 to 95 here. Okay. They're pulling. Okay. So looking at 02, 03. Wow, look at them push on the other side here. Okay. Looking at 05. A little higher, 05, 06. Let's see it. There we go. All right. It looks like, at the moment we are accepting above the figure. Okay. So, and we see them here in the book, let's see if they're going to stay there or not. I mean, look at the book is getting pretty built out here. It's on both sides, really, though. So, yeah. Maybe we're just going to go just bash around here, back and forth around the figure. That's what it looks like. Let's zoom in a little bit, try to get some insight to it. All right, well, they're down here at 96 and they're up here at 06, 07. And they're pulling, so it actually looks like they're pulling. So let's see if the buyers step in right here, and we can come up to 10 now. Okay, 09, 10. No, this is going to be kind of range bound here. Wow, there's a quick 10 points. Yeah, just range bound here. They're pressing underneath on the buy side, though. No question. All right, so let's see if we can get a nice cluster up here now of buying. There it is. Okay, then we quickly sell off though. Okay, I'm looking for another rotation. Let's see the buyer step in, and we're going to come up and come into this 63.10 level. No, they just no. In fact, the opposite here. So it's just we're all over the place at the moment. We see. I mean, there's a nice cluster of buying up here, and that's fact. Okay, let's. Now, if these guys are going to be trapped up here, okay, or are we going to rotate back up and then maybe get price extension above this 06 area? And it doesn't look like it, but we may. And this is volatile between 97 and 06. Okay, right now, though, sellers are winning the battle. And if we can get a lot of selling right here, right now, we can break down to lower lows. All right, and there we go. So let's see if this might be a failed auction down here. 96. Now that's not enough selling yet. Here we go. Let's see if we get there. There's more selling. All right. All right. So let's same process here. Looking for a retest back up. Okay, and then I was just trying to draw this trend line in again here, but actually this is so volatile. And back to the point of control here. Now, if this point of control fails here, okay, if we get a failure here, right, and it's right around the figure, and we fail and we're down below, I'm looking for a continuation to the downside. I mean, obviously this has a weaker look to it, the structure, no question about that. No, buyers are really, I mean, this is just all over the place. And this is hard to read in this area right here, right now, because I don't see a winner, an advantage, one side or the other. Okay, it was starting to look good, maybe with some of the clusters down here. It also started to look good with the clusters up here, and then looking for that price discovery. Okay, so what we're getting here is that failed auction, and that battle for that point of control is won at this 03 area here. Okay, to the other side of the range, and let's see if how this is gonna, yeah, and it's right back into the middle of the range and below. All right. All right, guys, we're over our time anyway. It's been a volatile period, lots of things to see, rather hard to cover. Things are happening so quickly, and trying to read it and put it all together with a little bit of latency as well. So anyway, I hope you guys found that helpful, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If not, everyone have a great weekend, and we will catch up with you on Monday. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye bye.